Hi all, welcome to round 14 and 15 of Rant Football. It's a bit different this time because we've got weekend games coming up and we've got a whole week, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday midweek games. So I'm just going to make it one super prediction table for once and not try and do too many videos, just keep it to the normal format. So we're going to start with Saturday the 30th. I'm going to make sure the guests know this as well because there's so many games, I want them to do all of them. So round 14 and 15 is going to be one Super League. If you're wondering why there's a round 15 in there, Tuesday, Wednesday and the 5th December. All games on Amazon Prime Video. So if you've got Amazon Prime, you can watch any game at the same time in the Premier League. Pretty cool, I think. It's been going on in the world for years, in America and Africa, like BN Sport, like I've ranted before about on other videos. So this is going to give you an idea why the rest of the world have it better than us on our own bloody league. And it does my nut. So let's get started. Anyway, I haven't got much to rant about. If managers have been sacked, they deserve it. Here we go. Saturday the 30th of November. Early kickoff, 12:30 is Newcastle versus Manchester City. Let's face facts here. This is going to be 4-0 Man City. Newcastle are going to be destroyed. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more, but I'm going to be keeping it a bit lower and say 4-0 to the City. So that's the first game of the weekend. The 3 PM kickoffs, we've got Burnley versus Crystal Palace. Tricky one this is. Both teams can pull out results from here and there, and both playing well, sort of. But I've got a feeling on a Desmond 2-2. So we're going 2-2 for Burnley versus Crystal Palace. We've got a proper London derby here, especially in my family. If you don't know, half my family are West Ham, half of us are Chelsea. So we're going to tell you this now. I can't have the Hammers winning. Oh my God. You don't understand. To them, my family, they'll go on about it for years. But Chelsea at home, you got to fancy a Chelsea win. I'm going to say West Ham's form is absolutely terrible. Got a feeling on 4-1 Chelsea. Chelsea can't keep a clean sheet. It's been the story of the season. But they can score goals. I think would be too much for West Ham at this moment with that keeper in goal. This will probably be famous last words by me. But I'm going 4-1 Chelsea. We've got Liverpool versus Brighton. Plain and simple, Brighton going to get nothing out of this game. I'm going to go 2-0 to Liverpool. Spurs with Jose. We're going to be interested to see if he starts playing negative football. Maybe still a bit early for it. But Spurs at home against Bournemouth, another good team. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw here. I don't think Bournemouth could win it. Spurs could win. But I'm going to go 1-1. Really, it's because I just want Spurs to get miles behind Chelsea. Going with my heart, taking a risk. 5:30 kickoff, won't be watching. Southampton versus Watford. Let's be truthful, it's a relegation battle. It'd be great to watch at the end of the season, but not November. Boring. Not watching. Southampton Watford. I'm going to go 2-1 to Southampton though. We move to the Sunday games of round 14. We've got 2 o'clock, Norwich versus Arsenal. Norwich thrashed Everton the week before. Arsenal struggled at home against Southampton. Look, I can't believe this Arsenal form is going to keep on going like this. I think Southampton are crap. I'm going to go 1-0 Arsenal. I just think Norwich sometimes is just silly and make mistakes, and Arsenal will punish him. I don't see it being a good game, though. So 1-0 Arsenal. Wolves, Sheffield United. Whew, what a game we got here. Sheffield United shocking everyone this season. Great defensive. They're all round a great team right now. Versus Wolves. I'm going to go for a draw in this one. Wolves. Oh, actually, maybe not. If I'm right, Wolves will be playing in Europa League Thursday night. So they may be slightly tired. No, I'm still going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw against Wolves and Sheffield United. Leicester Everton, if that fraud's still in charge, and I'm doing this video beforehand, at Everton, it's only one-way traffic again. Leicester are having a great run of games here, and good on them for being up there and, you know, shaking the pack again. So pretty much, I think this will be 2-0 to the Leicester. Plain and simple. Everton, keep Silver there as long as you want, mate, because you're mucking your club up. Man United Villa is the last game on Sunday and the last game of the weekend, obviously, because of the next round starting on Tuesday. Man United got back against Sheffield United, but must be truthful. What has happened to United? they don't seem like a big club to me. I don't think anybody's scared to play them anymore. I don't think Villa would be scared of going to Old Trafford either. What has happened to Man United? That's another manager who I said from day one shouldn't have had the job and shouldn't be there. Paul Pogba clearly doesn't want to be there. And I think there's problems in the dressing room. I think United will have this one though. I'm going to go 2-0 to Man United. Right, I'm moving on to round 15. Tuesday night games. We've got, remember, Prime Video. I'm not getting paid for Prime to say this, but if you've got it, I think they can do a 3-month subscription if you've never been before. Get it, guys. I will warn you though, I do have a feeling that on Wednesday night it'll probably crash because there'll be so many people trying to use it, and it'll be the first time they've done it, just like Disney Plus did and all the new platforms and computer games when they come out on the PS4 and Xbox. They always crash when everyone buys them. So here we go. Tuesday, round 15. Here we go. At home, Crystal Palace versus Bournemouth. Pretty much I am going to say, I'm going to shock everyone, 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Also that night we've got Burnley versus Man City. Burnley, a good little unit, versus Man City, whose defence is terrible. Do you know what? I've got this strange feeling on a draw. I think it's going to be 2-2. This is probably where I'm going to lose any credibility in the title race again for the prediction table again. But I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Burnley 2, Man City 2. Move on to the Wednesday games, and there is so many. So, let's say Wednesday the 4th, we've got, they're all kicking off 7:30 apart from Liverpool versus Everton, who's 8:15. That's the game, isn't it? If I weren't a Chelsea fan and we weren't playing that day, I'd be watching that game. I can watch the last bit of it, I suppose, because Chelsea game will be over. Anyway, Chelsea are at home against another Claret and Blue. So 2 games at home against Claret and Blues. Chelsea versus Everton. John Terry, welcome back to Stamford Bridge, son. We've missed you. Assistant manager at Aston Villa. You're going to get that standing ovation you deserve at the Bridge. I wish I was there for it. I'll be watching on Prime though, and I will be saluting you too, sir. But I think Frank's going to outclass Terry at this one, and I think Chelsea will win this game comfortably 3-0. Leicester versus Watford. Leicester at home. Watford are terrible. This is one way. It's also 3-0 to the Leicester. Man United versus Spurs. Battle with the teams underperforming. Jose. Whoa, see? These fixtures are amazing for Prime. What lucky timing. Jose goes back to Old Trafford after being sacked. I'm going Spurs. I'm going 2-1 to Tottenham. Jose effect, and Tottenham will get one over United, who are just a poor team. This could be the end of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Southampton Norwich, it would be a relegation battle yet again towards the end of the season. Worth a watch. Now, nah. I'm going to go 1-0. Wolves West Ham. Oh, do you know what? I think Wolves are going to be absolutely tired. Otherwise, I'd go for a Wolves win easy here. I'm going to go for a boring 0-0 against West Ham. What would be a good result for West Ham to stop that losing run? Whew. What a game again, as I said. The 8:15 kickoff. Liverpool versus Everton. Ooh-wee, boy. It's a derby. Everton are terrible, but always seem to turn up play against Liverpool. Liverpool looking like champions though this year. And if the frauds, what I think still will be in charge, because I don't think they'll change it before this game, if he's in charge this weekend before on the Saturday games. So I think this will be 2-0 to Liverpool. We move on to Thursday games. Sheffield United versus Newcastle. Sheffield United 1-0. Done. Simple. 1-0 to Sheffield United. We've got Arsenal versus Brighton. I think we're going to have another rant on Arsenal fan TV here. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw, and Arsenal are going to be terrible. Well, that's round 14 and 15's predictions from me. I am going to message people who are going to be on this week and remind them to do round 14 and 15 and explain why I should. I'll tell you what, I'm going to add round 16 as well, because there's so many bloody games that I would have to get another video out on Friday for results and predictions. It's not worth it. I'll give myself a longer rest as well. We're going to do round bloody 16 as well, because the games come Saturday, so Friday's the only day off. Was getting into round 16. Don't worry, I've got them up in front of me. First game of the weekend, the half 12 kickoff is Everton versus Chelsea. It's at Goodison. I think Chelsea are going to win again. I think 2-1 to the Chelsea. Away from home against Everton. So the fraud still may not be sacked. Bournemouth versus Liverpool. Tricky game for Liverpool. I think this will be a draw, actually. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Spurs versus Burnley. We're going 1-1 again. Another 1-1. Watford versus Crystal Palace. I think Palace will win this 2-0. Man City versus Man United. How many great games in 1 week is coming up? Wow. Not as in teams, but the significance of what's around these games. This could be Ollie's very last game in charge, I think, if he doesn't get a result out of this. And I don't think he will. I think City will win 3-1. We move on to the Sunday games of round 16. I've done 3 rounds in one video. Whew. As I said, nice long rest for me though. So Sunday games, 2 o'clock kickoff, Villa versus Leicester. I think it'd be the first time Leicester won't win. I think this will be a 1-1 draw, just due to Villa being at home. That's it. I could be wrong, and I probably will be wrong. Newcastle versus Southampton. Yet again, I think we'll have a Newcastle win here. Simon, cheer. I've gone for your side. 2-1 to the Newcastle. Norwich, Sheffield United. Sheffield United, 2-0. Yep, definitely the Blades are winning that one. Brighton versus Wolves. Tricky one. I'm going to go for... I just think Wolves are going to be knackered. 2-1 to the Brighton. And the last game, finally, on the super prediction video is West Ham versus Arsenal. Who'd you go for this? One's crap, one's shit. Both got managers are rubbish right now. Both got teams are rubbish right now. Both you've got fans are deluded. I think they're always going to be in the top 4 and they don't really spend proper money. I don't know who to go for. This is actually a pretty tricky one. West Ham at home, you would think. I'll tell you what. I just think just because of West Ham at home, I think this will be the first game West Ham will win. I'm going to go for 1-0 West Ham, and that'll be Emery out. I think Arsenal fans, you're probably thinking, no, we can't have that. But it could be better for your season to get rid of him that quick. And by losing that game, that would be the end of Emery. Right. So maybe a 1-0 West Ham win. I'm just not sure. I could flip a coin on that one, personally. I'm just going to go West Ham for once. Right, so that's round, I believe, 14, 15 and 16 Premier League predictions done by me. Hopefully my guest, I get it out to them, explain to them. Their videos are going to be longer as well because of this. I'm sorry, guys. But quite frankly, I ain't doing millions of videos just for the sake of it. People ain't going to watch millions and millions just going videos. I have to rush too many out. It takes me hours to get everything done properly, put you all in, put all the effects in and all that stuff. So that's the reason why I'm just making this a super long one. Right, I've ranted and talked a load of bollocks too long. Up the Chelsea. Well done yet again for everyone who's going to be on this one for doing all these super long fixtures. So let's get to the guest.
Evening all, Gavin here to give Phil my predictions for the next 2.5 weeks. 30 games he's asked me to ask for, so let's get cracking straight away on week 14. Start with Newcastle against Man City. I've gone 4-0 Man City. We'll batter them. Next up is Burnley against Palace. I've gone 2-0 Burnley because they're good at home. Chelsea West Ham. I can't see anything but Chelsea, so I've gone 3-0. Liverpool Brighton, same again. Liverpool 3-0. Spurs against Bournemouth. Spurs have now got Mourinho, the chosen one, in charge. So I've gone 2-0 to Spurs against Bournemouth. Southampton Watford, bottom of the table clash. Reckon Watford scrape that 1-0. Norwich against Arsenal. I've gone Norwich 0, Arsenal 2. Wolves against Sheffield United. Sheffield United look great against United and then just went to sleep again. But I've gone Wolves 1, Sheffield United 2, because I think Sheffield United are just slightly better at the moment. Leicester against Everton. Easy win for Leicester, 3-0. And final game of the weekend, Man United against Villa. I have gone 2-0 to Man United because I think Villa are crap. Right, week 15. So we've got the midweek games. I've gone Palace 1, Bournemouth 0. I think Palace aren't that bad, but yeah, Bournemouth are worse. Burnley 0, Man City 3. We'll batter them again. Chelsea 3, Villa 1. I reckon Villa can score a goal, but Chelsea are going to win that. I've got Leicester 5, Watford 0. I think this is one of those games where Leicester will just wallop someone again like they did the other week. So I've gone 5-0. I've gone Man United 1, Spurs 2. Controversy. But yeah, I reckon Mourinho's going to go, let's go and kick their backsides, because yeah. So I've gone at 1-2 to Spurs against Man United. Southampton 1, Norwich 1. Bottom of the league clash. I reckon it's got a stalemate written all over it. Wolves 3, West Ham 1, because West Ham are crap. Liverpool 4, Everton 0 in the derby, because Everton away are rubbish at Liverpool at home. Brilliant. Sheffield United 3, Newcastle 0, because Newcastle are rubbish. And Arsenal 1, Brighton 0, because Arsenal at home. Right, week 16, so the last 10 games. Everton 0, Chelsea 2. I reckon you're going to get 3 wins out of 3 with me, Phil. So there you go. Bournemouth 0, Liverpool 4. So that's 3 wins for your crew again, Craig. Spurs 2, Burnley 0. Watford 0, Palace 1. Manchester Derby, I've gone 4-0 to City because Man United's defence is rubbish and United's attack is rubbish. The only decent thing they've got is a goalkeeper, and we'll defeat any goalkeeper any time of the day. So I've gone 4-0 to Man City on that. Villa 0, Leicester 3, because Villa are rubbish and Leicester aren't. Newcastle 1, Southampton 0. Newcastle at St James's have got the extra, they got the 12th man with the crowd, and I reckon they can get a 1-0 win there. Norwich 0, Sheffield United 2. Brighton 0, Wolves 1. And the last game of the 30 is West Ham 1, Arsenal 1, because Arsenal away. Rubbish. Right. I'll see you in a couple of weeks because I don't know when we're going to do this next. I'll see you soon. Have a good time. See you later.
Right, hello again, back again, do some predictions. Doing three weeks worth this, 3 rounds worth this time, as I'm sure you know by now. I'll just get on with it, I'll try and rattle through them, there's a few, obviously. I've got a first round 14, got Newcastle against Man City, I've got City away win 2-0. Pretty straightforward for them lads. And then Crystal Palace away at Burnley, gone 2 each of them two. I'll have to read, there'll be a lot of reading. And what have we gone now? Chelsea against West Ham. We've gone 3-0. 3-0 for Chelsea, 3-0. No, West Ham aren't great at the moment. Liverpool Brighton. Brighton are doing very well, but Liverpool seem to be getting the rub of the green. They're playing well themselves, but yeah, VAR's helping and they're doing alright. I think 3-0 again for that one for Liverpool. Next one, Spurs against Bournemouth. Spurs are getting a bit of a form together now with Mourinho. We'll go with 2-1 to Spurs. Then Southampton against Watford. They're going for a boring 0-0. Leave that one right there. And then on Sunday, got Norwich against Arsenal. I can see Arsenal getting beat. I don't know how they'll do today, obviously. They're playing in Europe today, while I'm recording this. But it doesn't really matter, does it? But yeah, anyway, I've gone 2-1 to Norwich against Arsenal. And then Wolves and Sheffield United. Sheffield United looked really well, really good last week against us. But that wasn't hard because we were terrible. United, that is. So I've gone a 2-1 Sheffield United win against Wolves. And then Leicester against Everton. Everton are terrible as well. See them losing a manager pretty soon. I've said that before. But so I've gone 3-0 to Leicester. 3-0 to Leicester. I think they'll be challenging Liverpool more than City, really. And then last one in this round is Manchester United against Aston Villa. No, I can't knock back United, even though, anyway, I've gone ahead 2-1 to United at home. Can't play any worse than we did the other day. Even though we had a 10-minute spell, we'd have played alright. Anyway, that's that round. Our next one's round 15. I'm rattling on, so we're not here all day. Right, Crystal Palace against Bournemouth. It's hard to predict, obviously, because we don't know what's happened in the previous round. Injuries and subs and suspensions and all that. But we've gone 2-0 Palace win against Bournemouth. And Burnley against City. I'll give City, well, I think City will win, but it'll be a tight one away. 3-2, loads of goals. 3-2 to City in that one against Burnley. And then Chelsea against Aston Villa. Go Chelsea 2-1 win. They're just too strong at the moment. I think they will have a blip, but they're doing alright. Leicester against Watford. I've gone for another Leicester win. 2-0. Easy enough for them lads. And then United against Spurs, an interesting one. Obviously Mourinho coming back, and United on the day can be alright. But yeah, I've gone for a United win. Not only because it's my team, but we do seem to play better against the better team. So yeah, 2-1 win for United. And then Southampton against Norwich, just a 1 each there. Not really bothered about them lads. And then Wolves and West Ham, 2-1 to West Ham. Why not? Liverpool against Everton, a derby. Can't see Everton getting anything. So I've gone 2-0. Maybe a VAR penalty for Liverpool again. Next one, Sheffield United against Newcastle. Newcastle are flapping, and Sheffield are doing alright. So 2-0 to Sheffield United. Next one, Arsenal and Brighton. Gone 2 each there. I think that's where the manager could get sacked if he's not already gone. So yeah, 2 each to Arsenal and Brighton. Right, next one. Round 16 I think we're up to now. Bloody hell, it's getting harder. Right, I've gone Everton against Chelsea. Another Chelsea win, 2-0. And that's where their manager could finally get sacked. I don't want anybody to get sacked, but there you go. And then Liverpool against Bournemouth away. Just a scraper 1-0. Liverpool 1-0 against Bournemouth. Spurs and Burnley. I think Spurs will get a 2-1 home win. Watford against Crystal Palace. Nice 2-2 draw. A bit of a Desmond. And then in the derby, the Manchester derby, United against City. On paper, City are much better than us, but they're struggling at the moment. They've got a defence a bit dodgy like ours. But I don't know. Aguero will be out as well. I've heard Pogba's not going to be playing again for United, but it's a shame that. I quite like him, but if he's going, he's going. But yeah, I've gone 2 each there as well because I don't know. I think we'll pull some out of the game, hopefully. And then Aston Villa against Leicester. Another Leicester win for me, 2-1. And they'll be right up there. With Chelsea, of course, unfortunately. And then Newcastle Southampton, just a nothing 0-0 again. Not giving Newcastle much in these predictions. And then Norwich against Sheffield United. I think Sheffield will win 2-0. Brighton against Wolves. Wolves aren't great. Brighton are at home, they're doing very well. So, well, yeah, you know, up and down. But yeah, 3-0 for them. And then the last game on this one, predictions, is West Ham against Arsenal. Arsenal away. But if my thing is right, it'll be a new manager for Arsenal. Probably Pochettino. So I'll give them a 2-0 win away. Alright, there we go. Alright, I'll get off now because you'll be here all night. Alright, enjoy the football, all of it. See you later.
Hi guys, I'm here for round 14, 15 and 16 in RantFOOTBALL. So I'm going to get through these pretty quick, so I'm not going to hang about like you sometimes doing waffle like I'm doing right now. But here we go, so this is round 14 for you, Phill. Newcastle, Manchester City, 4-0 City. Newcastle shit. Burnley, Crystal Palace, 2-0 Burnley. Chelsea, West Ham, 3-0 Chelsea. Liverpool, Brighton, 2-1 Liverpool. Spurs and Bournemouth, 2-0 Spurs. And Southampton, Watford, 1-1. Norwich and Arsenal, I'm going to go 1-0 Norwich. Don't know why. But. Wolves and Sheffield United, 2-0 Wolves. Leicester and Everton, 4-0 Leicester. Manchester United and Aston Villa, 2-1 to Manchester United. Now this is midweek games for round 15. Crystal Palace and Bournemouth, 1 apiece. Burnley and Manchester City, 2-1 Manchester City. Chelsea and Aston Villa, 2-0 Chelsea. Leicester and Watford, 2-0 Leicester. Manchester United and Spurs, 2-2. Southampton and Norwich, 3-0. No. Yeah, 3-0 Southampton. Wolves and West Ham, 2-0 Wolves. Liverpool and Everton, 4-0 Liverpool. Sheffield United and Newcastle, 2-0 Sheffield United. Arsenal and Brighton, 1 apiece. And now for round 16. Madness, isn't it? Everton and Chelsea, 2-0 Chelsea. Bournemouth and Liverpool, 3-0 to Liverpool. Spurs and Burnley, 1-1. I think that one's going to beat. Watford and Crystal Palace, 0-0. No, but I think Manchester City and Manchester United, I think it's going to be 3-2 to City. Aston Villa and Leicester, 2-0 to Leicester. Newcastle and Southampton, 1-1. Norwich and Sheffield United, 3-0 to Sheffield United. Brighton and Wolves, 1-0 to Wolves. And the final game, West Ham United and Arsenal, 1-0 Arsenal. So that's my 3 rounds in. It's a little bit longer than normal, guys. So it's all a lot of games coming up. So do your usual stuff for Phil and say hello. Hello. Spider's been over my shoulder all the time. We'll see you in a few weeks.
RantFOOTBALL, your champion is back. I'm here for some more red hot world class predicting. It's what I do. Right, so this week Phil's asked us to do 3 game weeks in one go. So there's a lot to go through. So I'm going to go through round by round, get it all done. It's going to be fast. It's going to be machine gun predicting. So hold on to your pants. So round 14 games. Newcastle, Man City. Newcastle nothing, Man City 3. Burnley, Palace. Burnley 3, Palace 1. Chelsea, West Ham. Chelsea 4, West Ham and nothing. Liverpool, Brighton. Well, assuming that VAR gets involved like it has been, Liverpool 2, Brighton 1. Spurs, Bournemouth. I'm going to go with a draw. Spurs 1, Bournemouth 1. Southampton, Watford. What a game this will be. Can you imagine watching this? Southampton nothing, Watford nothing. Norwich, Arsenal. Norwich 3, Arsenal 1. Wolves, Sheffield United. It's going to be a really interesting game. I'm going with a Desmond 2-2. So Wolves 2, Sheffield United 2. Leicester, Everton. Only one winner here. Leicester 3, Everton 0. Man United, Villa. Man United 2, Villa 1. Right, that's round 14, all out of the way. So the round 15 games. Palace, Bournemouth. I think it's a draw. Palace 1, Bournemouth 1. Chelsea, Villa. Chelsea 3, Villa 1. Leicester, Watford. Leicester 4, Watford 1. Man United, Spurs. This will be an interesting game. Let's give it to the home team. Man United 3, Spurs 2. Southampton, Norwich. Southampton 1, Norwich 1. Wolves, West Ham. Well, this all really depends whether they've sacked Pellegrini by this point or not, but assuming they haven't, Wolves 3, West Ham 1. Liverpool, Everton. Well, it was a game we all looked forward to in the past, but now the fraud's in charge. It'd be Liverpool 3, Everton nothing. Sheffield United, Newcastle. Sheffield United 1, Newcastle nothing. And Arsenal, Brighton. I fancy Arsenal to get turned over here, especially if they haven't got rid of the manager. because that's a disaster, that is. Brighton 2, Arsenal 1. Right, that's round 15. So round 16, the third week, Everton, Chelsea. Chelsea 3, Everton 1, probably, something like that. Bournemouth, Liverpool. Liverpool 2, Bournemouth nothing. Spurs, Burnley. Spurs 2, Burnley 1. Watford, Palace. Palace 2, Watford 1. Man City, Man United, the Manchester Derby. I'm going with a draw and I'm going with a Desmond 2-2. So Man City 2, Man United 2. Villa, Leicester. Villa pretty good at home. Leicester 1. No, sorry. Villa 1, Leicester 2. Newcastle, Southampton. Newcastle 2, Southampton nothing. Norwich, Sheffield United. Sheffield United 1, Norwich nothing. Brighton, Wolves. It's going to be a draw. Desmond 2-2. So Brighton 2, Wolves 2. West Ham, Arsenal. Two pretty poor teams. West Ham 3, Arsenal 1. There you go. That's your correct scores. I told you last week, get down the bookies. Back what I do. You would have made loads of bunts because I know what I'm doing.
Hello, my name is Esther Ranson. This is your life. Oh no, what did she used to be on? Can't remember. Newcastle, Man City. Up the Geordies, 2-0 to Newcastle. No, sorry, 2-0 to City. Burnley, Crystal Palace. Oh, dog shit of a game. 2-1 to Burnley. Chelsea, West Ham. Okay. Phill is saying do that, so I'll do that. So round, whatever this is. Just itching me. Donuts. Chelsea, West Ham. 3-0 Chelsea. Liverpool, Brighton. We've conceded a lot of goals, so I'm going to go 4-1 Liverpool. Spurs, Bournemouth. 2-0 Spurs. Southampton, Watford. Oh, another dog. Ooh, bottom of the league. Yeah, exciting. I'm going to say Hasselhout will get sacked, and I'm going to say Watford 2-1. Norwich, Arsenal, up to Norwich. 1-0. Wolves, Sheffield United. Strange little game that, but I love the Wolves. So, 2-1 Wolves. Leicester, Everton, 3-0 Leicester. Man United, Aston Villa. Dog shit, Man United, 1-0. So, on to the next one. I don't know what the fucking weeks are. I'm not asked. Crystal Palace, Bournemouth. So shit teams in the Premier League. Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, 2-0 to Palace. Burnley, Man City, 5-0 Man City. Chelsea, Aston Villa. 2-1 Aston Villa. Leicester, Watford, 4-0 Leicester. Man United, Spurs. 2-2. Southampton, Norwich. 1-0 Southampton, Danny Ings. Wolves, West Ham, 4-0 Wolves. Liverpool, Everton, 3-0 Liverpool. Sheffield United, Newcastle, 2-1 Sheffield United. Arsenal, Brighton, 1-0 Brighton. Everton, next round, whatever it is, I don't care. Everton, Chelsea. I'm going to say 1-0 Everton. No, 1-0 Chelsea, and Everton in the relegation zone. Bournemouth, Liverpool. Tricky little Bournemouth. 2-1 Liverpool. Spurs, Burnley. Spurs are dropping back to their old ways. 1-0 Burnley. Watford, Crystal Palace. 3-1 Crystal Palace. Man City, Man United. Both shit. Oh, God. United are shit. 3-1 City. Aston Villa, Leicester. I do love Leicester, but Aston Villa have got to win sometime. 2-1 Aston Villa. Newcastle, Southampton. 3-1 Newcastle. Norwich, Sheffield United. 2-0 Sheffield United. Brighton, Wolves. I do love the Wolves. I keep saying it and I'll keep on saying it. 3-1 Wolves. West Ham, Arsenal. Arsenal looking for a new manager. 1-0 West Ham. Is that him? Is that them all? Yeah. Suck it and see.
Wow, you lot still here? Well, thank you for watching Rant Football, this super long episode. If you ever want to be on yourselves for a week, you know what to do. Comment or email me at boardphill@gmail.com. Just want to say thank you to the lads who've been on this week. You're superstars for doing this super long one. I'm going back to sleep because that was one long rant predictions. See you all soon.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got music on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody's hands go up.
This podcast is part of the After Dark Podcast Network.